It's time to get into some love messages for you. What's coming up in the days and the weeks ahead for my Scorpio spirit? That's what they want to know today, and that's what I intend to let them know today. All right, Scorpio, if this is your first time visiting my channel, I want to thank you for stopping by. Go ahead and consider subscribing so that you can be a part of the tribe over here and get these valuable messages on the regular. For those of you returning Scorpios, welcome back to my Scorpio tribe. I thank you, of course, for coming, checking me out today, and checking out what's coming up for you in love and romance. And let's get some housekeeping out of the way. As always, Scorpio, these are general readings. So, what that means is if you find for some reason, and I don't know why that would be, that this message does not resonate for you, don't panic, Scorpio. That simply means that you need to go ahead and make sure you're subscribed so that when your message drops within the next few days, you're the first one to know about it. All right, we've got that out of the way. We've got that out of the way, so now we can get down to business. Spirit, let's see what's going on in the upcoming weeks and months here for my lovely, lovely Scorpios. And I've got the Firefly. The Firefly talks all about wonder and that sense of wonder and playfulness that you can have in love and romance. Okay. So that's a very important element of what is needed to be created at this time. And with Butterfly, we know that a transformation can take place in your relationship to get you back to that place of wonder, right? That place of just playful love, right? Which I feel has been missing for many of you in recent months. And so this is absolutely good news for you, Scorpio. We also have Feather, which is a which is talking, yes, about messages, but if you think about feathers and what they can be used for in the bedroom, it's also talking here about introducing some newness into your love life, doing things that your partner is not expecting in the area of physical romance, right? So just keeping an open mind and guiding your partner down the road towards a more erotic experience. Guiding, okay, Scorpio, don't rush them with it, but guide them gently. And of course, that will lead to an increased sense of wonder and playfulness in your connection. And who can do that better than a Scorpio? I don't know who can do that better than a Scorpio, right? Like that's just kind of like what y'all do on a regular. But if you've gotten away from doing some of that, is what I'm hearing, because problems have arose and things that seem like obstacles have come to get in the way. Scorpio spirit is saying to you, let's rekindle. Let's rekindle some parts and add infuse this connection with the parts of you that make you uniquely Scorpio, right? And so when it comes down to love and physical attraction, Scorpio knows how to get that, get that heated up quicker than anyone, right? um, I had a teacher that once said that if a Scorpio is alone, right, for some reason, they are able to, they are able with just a look to get someone interested in them in a way that no one else can, right? So, Scorpio, you need to just remember you hold the power just in a look, let alone the other things you do. So let's not forget who you are. And I feel like some of you have been in a little bit of a rut and have forgotten like the power that you hold just within your hands. So I, as a general message over love right now, I do also have the Two of Swords in the reverse. And that is really talking about letting down some of those blockages and probably self imposed blockages that you've been experiencing, like getting out of your own head. Stop over analyzing what's happening in your love situation right now. And then, it's like also with the devil in the reverse, it's like, you know, that whole, getting caught up in your own mind is the undoing of all the good that you've spent time in this relationship, in this connection setting up, right? You're very meticulous in the way that you've set up, like from the beginning, the good feelings, and then you get inside your own head, you overanalyze, you start giving your partner the side eye because of certain things, and you undo instead of working with your partner, is what I'm hearing, to correct some of these issues or address some of these issues. You stay in your own head and the problem gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So spirit's talking about letting that energy go as well, and letting go of the constant arguments, right? With the Five of Swords in the reverse, the constant arguing that has been plaguing your connection, letting that go. Instead of going straight to arguing, thinking about how can we fix this? What is a constructive use of my words and emotion at this time? Hopefully that makes sense for you, Scorpio. Let's take a deeper look at some of these oracle messages that came through and see what is behind the scenes and happening there. So, with this sense of wonder, that firefly energy that we spoke of, we have, to clarify that, the Temperance card along with the Seven of Wands. So this is really, this is about balance, right? Like about balance. And with the Seven of Wands, it's about also knowing how you are overprotective just naturally. That's your natural state, right? Just protecting yourself from those around you and what's going on. And as you can see here, she's kind of looking over her shoulder as she walks away. So it's like knowing when to walk away from a fight, but also knowing that you don't always have to take a stance. You can come back at another time when tensions are lower and calmly discuss things. So let's talk about this butterfly, this transformational energy. And we have the Hanged Man as well as the Knight of Wands, turning on the charm. And for those of you who, I just talked about this in my Sagittarius reading about turning on the charm. So we're going to dig into that a little further. With these messages, with the feather energy, we have the King of Pentacles along with the Ace of Cups. And for those of you who, Scorpio, if your person is a Sagittarius, I want to double down on this reading because I literally had in today's reading for Sagittarius, I literally had this Ace of Cups in the same position, and I had this King or this Knight of Wands come up as well in a strong position. So if you are dealing with a Sagittarius, then this reading just goes double for you, right? But for the rest of you, Scorpios, again, with this transformation energy that's being afforded by the butterfly, it's about staying still long enough in your decision making with your partner so that you receive the enlightenment, the messages from spirit that are out there for you, right? That's what that is alluding to, like not just acting and going in for the kill like we sometimes do in arguments, but and not just assuming right off the bat that you know exactly what's happening without taking a breath, allowing the energy of spirit to come in and enlighten you before you continue in that conversation, which instead of an argument, it should be a conversation with your partner, right? And of course, we're talking again about the charm that you need to bring into this situation with this Knight of Wands. This Knight of Wands is one of the most charming. I think he's only beat by the King of Wands as far as charm is concerned. So being charming, being alluring, um, with what we talked about with the feather energy up there, introducing or reintroducing some of the more erotic sides of your nature to your partner so that you can step things up, right? In love, step things up on the physical side so that you want to lead them to that so that some of the tensions in your relationship can start to melt away. Not that you're just going to jump into bed and that makes everything right. That's not what I'm suggesting here. What I'm saying is right now you're off balance, right? You're off balance in a way that leads more towards the more difficulties, the more hard times, right? And Spirit is saying, let's start to balance it back out by just again reintroducing your partner to who you are and this side of you so that they feel the pleasure, because lately it feels as if your partner's been feeling the pain, right? So we want to keep that in mind because we're all leading down, what this is all leading down to is a renewal of love and romance in your relationship. So this is completely achievable. But let's dig in a little further with these messages and get some more clarification, right? So we do have the Queen of Pentacles, and she's popping up here to say, like, your partner does look at you as if you're the rock, you're the steady one in this connection, right? Where they feel as if their emotions, and maybe they've shared this with you and maybe they haven't, but they feel as if their emotions can tend to be a little all over the place, even if that's not the face that they're showing you, but they look to you as if you're the rock, right? And a lot of that has to do with your strength as a Scorpio, in which, yes, you feel emotion very in it, probably deeper than anyone in the zodiac. However, because you're used to dealing and swimming in those deep emotional waters, who knows how to hold it all together better than you, right? When you are at your best, Scorpio, and you have the balance emotionally and mentally going for you in your life, you know how to swim in those deep waters and you know how to stand firm in a way that others around you don't even have a clue as to the depths of the emotions you feel. So your partner really sees you as a rock in this connection, right? And that sense of how there's been maybe recent arguments and recent fighting, um it hasn't taken away that feeling of that they see you as their rock, but they're seeing a different side of you where in arguments I feel like you're becoming very emotional, right? So guide them back to this rock that they know is there, and your partner will begin to relax on some things is what I'm feeling. All right, we also have the Two of Wands in the reverse coming to play here, so that's talking a lot about some of what you've tried to maybe plan some things because beautiful, intuitive Scorpio maybe has felt some of this energy of, I need to interject some light energy here, being lighter, being more joyful into this connection. But some of those plans have gone awry, right? Which have upsetted you. So this is talking about being more spontaneous with creating that sense of wonder, not sitting there actually making the plans and then trying to execute them, but just popping up and being more spontaneous in the ways that you want to do this, right? Like jumping in the car and let's just take a little weekend road trip, right? Just pack a couple of outfits and take a drive to a nearby place that you don't normally go and stay the weekend and just rediscover some of the joy, because by going to a new place where you don't normally go, it opens you up to even just discovery of that area, bringing you closer. So getting out and doing some of the things that that area has to offer will just bring up a totally different vibe for you, a totally different sense of playfulness. And that's what's much needed here. So let's go a little deeper here into the butterfly energy and talk about this transformation. And we again have the Ace of Cups, right? So the Ace of Cups is now on the board twice. Wow. Wow, Scorpio, can you ever bring an overflowing cup of emotion here with this transformative energy of the butterfly? It's like, if you heed spirit's advice at this point, success, I mean, you can't be anything but successful in changing the aspects of the relationship that you would like to see play out differently for you. So again, it's about taking that breath in between the words, and instead of saying something hurtful, going for the jugular, it's about letting spirit come in and present you with the gift of what it is that you should say, what it is that you should do. But it takes you taking that pause, that breath, and then allowing that energy and that information in, and then acting on what spirit brings to you, not just looking for what your temper wants to say, like not letting your temper make you, drive you to make these points that at times are very hurtful words being used against your partner, right? Take the breath, allow spirit to guide you, because who wants to fight with a Scorpio, honestly? A Scorpio can get to the jugular very quickly, okay? And but you can also very quickly infuse the love that's needed, and spirits telling you, let's take a breath and let's do that instead, right? Kill them with kindness in a sense, right? So let's take a further look at how we're going to be able to use this transformational energy, Scorpio, successfully. And we have the Nine of Wands, right? The Nine of Wands does talk about protection, but it also talks, it's the Wounded Warrior card. So in many ways, you do have to keep in mind, Scorpio, that some of the things that have transpired in recent days and weeks between you and your partner have been hurtful for your partner, right? Keep that in mind. So as you start to turn on this charm of the Knight of Wands and you start to try to rekindle the romance, if you're feeling some resistance from your partner, keep in mind there is some fresh pain there, right? And keep in mind that it's going to take a moment for your partner to catch up to feeling that rekindling of romance. You just have to stay the course, be steady, be reliable in the sense that you are providing them with reasons to see your charm on a daily basis. And even when it feels like they're not reciprocating what you're putting out there, keep putting it out there. All right. They'll get past this and they'll move more into this Ace of Cups energy with you. It's just going to take a moment. It's kind of like, okay, Scorpio just switched up on me. What is happening? And it takes them a moment to catch up. But once they do, if you stay the course, it's going to be beautiful, right? Let's dig into this feather energy further and see what's happening here. And we have the Knight of Cups. Again, showing up like the Knight of Cups is what is really happening. There's a lot of cups on the board here, right? So we started off talking about some of the more negative aspects of what's been going on and the fighting and all that kind of thing. But all of a sudden, everything's turning into cups. That is what can happen here for you, Scorpio. That is what you can achieve. The Knight of Cups is Mr. Lover Lover, right? Mr. Lover Lover. He comes in, he smoozes in many cases, but sometimes you gotta smooze your partner. It's not a game. It's just, you know, Scorpio, how you feel about your person. You're letting it out there in, what may seem like a smoozy kind of way, but that's what's going to lead you to success. You're not lying. You're not lying on how you feel. You're telling them how you feel. They're just maybe not used to getting this overly abundant release of these feelings from you. But you need to go ahead and do that. Let them feel you, okay? All right, let's dig further into this feather energy, spirit, and give Scorpio. So we have the Six of Cups in the reverse, right? So the old familiar things that have been happening again. Let me double down on this message. That has to go away, and you have to rekindle the love that you know exists for you in your heart with your partner. You have to rekindle that within them. It's going to take time. Don't get discouraged, but know that the status quo, this rut that you've fallen into, Scorpio, it can be corrected. All right. And the other thing that you can correct, especially if you fall into the category of not being a subscriber to my channel, is to subscribe so that you can receive this type of helpful insight that helps you get things back on track. All right, Scorpio, I know you'll subscribe and become a part of the tribe. Until next time, Scorpio, all my best.